Welcome everyone to this focused deep dive. Today we're doing something a bit different. Instead of a huge topic, we're zooming in on one specific resource. The book, Mastering AWS IAM, Troubleshooting and Solutions.
A really important one given the subject.
Exactly. We know you're busy. You want to know if this book is worth your time, especially if you're grappling with AWS security, which, let's face it, who isn't?
Right. It's fundamental.
So our mission today, pretty simple. Give you the lowdown on what this book offers, who it's for, and, well, why it might be a genuine shortcut to getting a handle on AWS identity and access management.
And we're basing this on, what, the table of contents in the intro sections?
Yep, just the key bits from the book itself to give a flavor.
Okay, well, jumping right in, AWS IAM. It's not just some add-on service, is it? It's really the bedrock of your security on AWS.
Coolly.
And what grabs me immediately about this book, just from the title, Troubleshooting and Solutions, is that practical angle.
Yeah, it signals it's not just theory.
Right. It sounds like it's aimed at solving those, real-world problems you hit when managing who gets access to what in the cloud, like a field manual.
That problem-solving vibe.
Yeah.
It really comes through when you glance at the structure of the table of contents. It seems very logical. Starts with part 1, getting started with IAM. So for folks newer to AWS, maybe?
Looks like it. Chapters like Introduction to AWS IAM, Setting up IAM, Basic IAM Policies. It seems like a solid starting point if you're, well, getting started.
Like a structured tutorial almost.
Yeah, exactly. But then it doesn't just stay there, does it? It progresses.
Right. Part 2 is advanced IAM features.
Okay, so this is where it deepens the knowledge. Things like IAM roles and temporary credentials, advanced policy management.
So if you're past the basics and need more sophisticated controls.
Precisely. Like those temporary credentials using STS, the security token service. That's a big step up from long-lived keys, security-wise. Limits your exposure window.
Definitely. And then it keeps building. Part 3 is expert IAM practices. And this looks like where it hits the really complex stuff, enhancing IAM and security, IAM for multi-account environments. Huge topic these days.
Oh, yeah, massive. As soon as you scale.
And IAM and federated identity management, so integrating with existing systems.
That multi-account piece is interesting. So many organizations struggle with that as they grow, right? Keeping security consistent across dozens, maybe hundreds of accounts.
It's a major headache.
So the fact that there's a dedicated section suggests the book directly tackles that. Probably offers like strategies and best practices.
Looks like it. Then part 4 is automation and monitoring. Also critical.
Can't manage this stuff manually at scale, not effectively anyway.
No way. So it has chapters on IAM automation and infrastructure as code.
Using tools like CloudFormation or Terraform for IAM, I assume.
Yeah, must be. And monitoring and metrics for IAM. So it's not just setup, it's the ongoing watchfulness.
Which brings up efficiency, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Automating IAM isn't just safer, it frees up time and reduces those manual errors that creep in.
Good point. And then finally, part 5, the appendices. These actually look really useful.
Oh, like what?
Well, there's a glossary of IAM terms, super handy for jargon. Policy templates for common scenarios.
Ah, that could be a time saver.
Right. An IAM CLI commands cheat sheet for the command line folks, and even troubleshooting common IAM errors.
Okay, that sounds genuinely practical, like quick reference stuff you'd actually keep open while working.
Exactly. Less theory, more here's how to fix it, or here's a template.
So, yeah, just looking at the structure, it seems like a pretty comprehensive path from zero to, well, maybe not hero, but certainly competent and beyond.
From foundations to expert practices and troubleshooting. Okay, so that's the structure. What about the key messages from the introduction? What's the book saying its goal is?
Well, it kicks off by stressing again that IAM is the thing for secure access control in the cloud. No surprise there, but it sets the tone.
Right.
And it frames IAM around those two core questions you always ask. One, who can get in? That's your authentication.
Verifying identity.
Yep. And 2, okay, they're in, now what can they do? And that's authorization, the permission side.
Got it.
The book basically positions IAM as the control center for security, governance, and even compliance in AWS.
And does the intro highlight specific features that deliver value?
It does. It talks about centralized access management, that single pane of glass idea for users and permissions.
Across potentially many accounts.
Exactly. Then granular permissions, which gets into that crucial principle of least privilege.
Only give the exact access needed, nothing more. Like the delivery driver analogy, porch access, not the whole house key.
Perfect analogy. It mentions temporary security credentials, too, using STS, which we touched on, big security boost.
Mhm.
That principle of least privilege point, though, it seems central. Minimizing risk by limiting potential damage if something goes wrong.
Absolutely critical.
Mm.
What else does the intro cover?
Let's see. Flexible identity options, so users, groups, and roles, and when to use each. Advanced policy management.
Like using AWS managed policies versus crafting your own custom ones.
Right, and it mentions the policy simulator, which is invaluable, really.
Oh yeah, testing policies before you deploy them saves so much potential pain.
Definitely avoids those, oops, I locked everyone out moments,
Yeah.
or worse, opened a huge hole.
Been there.
Hmm.
It also mentions audit and compliance tools.
Yeah, things like IAM Access Analyzer and CloudTrail, tools to see who's doing what and help meet those compliance mandates.
So visibility and proof.
Mm-hmm. And it breaks down the core concepts again. Users, groups, roles, policies, permissions. And it really reinforces that deny by default model.
Which is fundamental. You have to explicitly allow access.
Yeah,
Nothing is open by default.
exactly. Understanding that is key. So the intro really sets the stage. The book's aim is to help you implement least privilege, cut down your risks, and maintain a strong security posture.
So wrapping this up then, it really does sound like mastering AWS IAM.
Mm.
Troubleshooting and solutions could be, well, a very valuable resource.
Yeah, for pretty much anyone working seriously with AWS security.
It seems structured, comprehensive, goes from basics to advanced, and importantly, has that practical troubleshooting focus.
And connecting back to, the marketing angle or the why buy this book question, it's positioned as that practical toolkit. Whether you're starting out or managing complex setups, it promises the knowledge and the how-to for managing access effectively and securely.
Right. So for you listening, if you're maybe tired of digging through scattered docs or blog posts and want something more organized, more structured on IAM,
Something that takes you step by step.
yeah, this book seems like it could be a really worthwhile investment. It looks focused on actionable solutions for those real IAM headaches.
Which leads to maybe a final thought to leave folks with. Think about the confidence you get when you know your AWS setup is locked down properly, managed efficiently. What specific IAM challenges may be giving you grief right now?
Mm-hmm.
Could a resource like this, focused on troubleshooting and solutions, be the thing that helps you finally crack it and maybe unlock smoother, more scalable, and definitely more secure cloud operations? Something to consider.